Who goes there? Who gave you the nerve to break in?
Judge Chung, Officer Ma, this is Afu, my assistant. Please allow him to assist me.
We already made an exception by allowing your investigation, and now an assistant?
He is mechanically minded and is skilled in comparing traces. He will be of great help.
That's called science.
Clear your doubts, Officer Ma. Since we've already allowed Mr. Shen to join in our investigations, let him do things his way. You have my gratitude, Your Honor.
If you fail us, I'll add obstruction of official duties to your list of crimes.
Do we have anything else? Judge Chung, did you notice anything out of the ordinary when you arrived? Well, I was not aware of anything unusual. Lo Shiwen shook the door, Officer Ma kicked it open, and we found you and Lo Pei covered in blood. I suppose no one suspicious was discovered during that process. Well, none at all. What kind of person was Lo Pei? Lo Pei gained great fame when his book Chamber of Doubts was serialized in the Shanghai. Haven't we read this already?
Here we have.
Never mind. Okay. This. Officer Ma, I heard that you once had a dispute with Lo Pei. Could you...
The audacity! How dare you suspect me?
I have yet to confirm a suspect now. I also believe that Officer Ma has nothing to hide.
I bet you heard this rumor from young didn't you? Master Lo enjoyed drinking with me and talking about my past cases, you know, for source material. But Master Lo is always listening to me. He rarely talks about himself, so I got to ask him. Only then did I know how hard it was to write stuff and what he had to deal with from his fame. I was drunk and riled up, drawing out my sword to ask the gods why they'd make Master Lo suffer. He was born to put all of his talent to writing books. Young saw us when he came to deliver something, but I didn't know he would do me dirty like that. Me? Have a fight with Master Lo? Baloney.
Do we have something to ask him? I feel like it. No, we didn't. Okay. Afu, how about you take a little look at that? This wardrobe is locked. Do you think you could find a way to open it?
No problem. This kind of bolt pin spring lock is a piece of cake.
I will leave it to you then.
What you doing touching that wardrobe for, you punk? I thought I told you not to mess with the crime scene.
Officer Ma, this wardrobe is one of the few remaining blind spots. If this leads to an error in the investigation, surely no one would want to see that outcome. Of course, due diligence is crucial to this case.
You better be careful when you're opening that. Don't worry, Mr. Officer, I'm an expert on locks.
Okay.
I did it.
Okay.
Look, Shen, it looks like someone hid inside this wardrobe before.
Partition board removed, clothes piled, enough space for one to hide.
Could it be that the murderer once hid inside this wardrobe?
There is no rush to jump to conclusions. Let us first examine the scene carefully.
Look, the partition board should have been laid horizontally on the wooden frames.
True. The color on the sides of the wooden frame are old, yet the color on top seems new. It is very likely that this partition board was removed recently.
These are all clean clothes. They're now piled up on one side.
These clothes are compressed. The board couldn't compress clothes alone. What else do we have? This seems quite odd.
Chen, have you noticed something unusual?
Look closely at the bottom of the wardrobe. The left side with clothes has collected dust. Yet the empty space to the right is unusually clean, as if it had just been wiped.
Then it seems like someone cleaned this place. These are all clean clothes. They're now piled up on one side.
These clothes are compressed. Yep. What else do we have? Yeah.
Chen, there's a strip of cloth over here. Could this be a clue?
Take it out for further examination.
Alright. Chen, it's a bunched up strip of cloth. It was probably used as a ribbon to tie up quilts. This ribbon is dirty in the middle. It seems to be smudged with dust.
This quilt has traces of binding, so the ribbon most likely was removed from here.
Why would someone remove the ribbon from a bundled quilt and stuff it inside the clothes?
Indeed, it is quite peculiar. We need to record the situation.
Chen, what is that black spot?
A wood chip.
All the clothes are clean. I guess a piece broke off from the partition board and landed there.
No, the color and texture of this wood chip differs from that of the partition board.
I'm knowledgeable in wood. Let me take a look. It really is different. Let me smell it as well. Without a doubt, it's not the same material as the partition board.
Explain your deduction.
Amber wood wardrobes can repel insects and leave a lasting fragrance when clothes stored within. However, this chip has no fragrance. It's brownish and hard. It seems more like pine wood.
Why would a pine wood chip appear in a wardrobe made of camphor wood? Worth noting. We need to keep an eye out for objects made from pine wood in this house.
Understood.
Is the pine wood? Oh, the thing, the latch. That's made of pine wood. Okay. Maybe it's this. Okay.
Chen, why is this wood chip worth investigating? How is it connected to this case? Isn't it common for something dirty to stick onto clothes?
The wood chip appears between two piles of clean clothes, also that it is made of a different wood. And that's the reason why I'm so interested. Its relevance to the case depends on where it came from.
Perhaps the wood chip came from this place. Chen, this wood chip fell from the door latch. The material and texture is a perfect match with the door latch's fracture.
Well done. This may just be the key to unfold the truth.
But very strange. How could a wood chip from the fracture of a door latch appear in a wardrobe?
As the case gradually becomes clearer, the answer will come to light.
This ribbon is dirty in the middle. It must have been used in some way to leave such a smudge. Chen, do you think the murderer took the ribbon to bind you or Lope?
That's a reasonable guess. However, there are no rope marks present on both Lope and me.
Oh, I see.
Then again, this ribbon, I can't help but feel like I've seen it before. Where was it? I remember now. When I arrived last night, I saw cloth strips hanging from the ceiling.
Could it be that Lope was strangled to death before he was stabbed?
No, and there would be strangulation marks around the corpse's neck. Officer Ma tried to make light of the situation during our discussion. However, my intuition tells me that his connection with Lope is not as simple as he depicts. When I questioned him about the quarrel, young seemed somewhat flustered. Furthermore, he had a chance to tamper with the rice cakes. Maybe young did kill him out of revenge. What have we not looked at yet? I have a bunch of stuff. We'll just leave that for now. Okay, nothing more to... Oh.
Mr. Shen, you've looked through this place. Should you explain your reasoning to Lord? Quit wasting time if you ain't got a proper answer. Just let me arrest you. Begin my deduction? Now? Shen, what do we do? There are still a lot of mysteries we haven't solved yet.
We have already examined all the places that could be investigated within the courtyard. Even though the truth is yet to be clear, we need to discuss the case with Judge Chung. Judge Chung, I believe that we are now able to discuss this case. If so, you may begin. When the deceased was discovered, this room was in a sealed-off state. The window cannot be opened, leaving us the front door, locked from the inside. When the front door was reopened, the deceased and I were the only people inside the room. Under these circumstances, everyone, including myself, would instinctively believe that it was him, wasn't it? It was so him. The murderer must be someone who is still within this room, which would be me. Hence, we have all neglected the possibility of a third person hiding inside this room.
Alright then, tell me, where on earth would this third person be hiding?
That would be the wardrobe. All traces within the wardrobe show that someone was hiding inside it not long ago. There was another person in the room? Mr. Shen, was the person hiding in the wardrobe the murderer? Was the person hiding in the wardrobe the murderer? Yes. That is cool.
So the murderer first hid inside the wardrobe, then after you and Lope were drugged, he snuck out, murdered Lope, and framed you for it, right?
Oh, is that the truth behind this incident? It seems to conflict with the scenario in my memory.
You're dilly-dallying, punk. Running out of lies to tell.
When I arrived last night, this wardrobe was already locked from the outside. If the person inside was the murderer, he would not have been able to get out by himself.
You're quite perceptive, I'll give you that.
However, the arrangement within the wardrobe is indeed puzzling. If the person hiding inside was not the murderer, who could it have been? Last night, I was the one who latched the door. Theoretically, it is highly unlikely for anyone else to enter the scene after that. There were books piled under the bed and the wardrobe was locked. Nothing has changed. Evidence points to someone in the wardrobe, the only place to hide. The bloodstains prove a third person, the actual murderer, was present at the time of the crime. If the person in the wardrobe was not the murderer, then it could only be this person.
Wait. This is confusingly phrased, because it is not clear from the sentence whether it could only be this person is referring to the person in the wardrobe or the murderer. I think the game wants the person in the wardrobe. It is very unclear, but I think that's what it wants. Who would have been in the wardrobe? Well, clearly not him. Clearly not him, or him, or him. That makes no sense. I still suspect he's the murderer. It could only be him, can it?
Unless we're saying him, but that he wouldn't be a third person. So, if there is a third person, I feel like it has to be him. The person hiding inside the wardrobe was Young-er.
Why would he hide inside the wardrobe?
Naturally, he wanted to wait for a chance to kill Lo Pei.
Bad blood between Young-er and Master Lo? I don't think so. Go on then, tell me why you'd say that.
Well, give me a moment.
Shen, did you make a mistake?
No, I did not. This is just one of the hypotheses in the deduction process. Mr. Shen, please consider your answer carefully before responding to my question.
Quit your blabbering or I'll sharpen my blade with your head.
Allow me to reconsider. Let me actually, just because I can, I want to save her, because I don't know how far it throws you back if you run out of health. Well, I mean, if it's not him, it has to be him. Like, none of the others make any sense at all. I mean, we'll see.
You lie? Well, what am I hiding inside my uncle's wardrobe for? He's right, Shen. Why would Lo Shiwen hide inside this wardrobe?
Well, give me him. Okay. It was not him. What? Then who is it? This makes no sense. He's the only one who could undo the lock, but only from the outside. He's only 22, he looks older. I mean, I guess he... Okay. It's not him. Okay. Shen Chunping underwent severe torture in the court and spent the rest of his life in prison. Alright then. Whoops. Okay, so who the heck is it then? You know what? Sure. Shen, clear your head. How could I be the person hiding inside the wardrobe? I don't know. You know what? We're going to something that makes absolutely no sense because we specifically mentioned a third person. So this is illogical to the max. But so are these two, so I might as well go for this. If the person hiding in the wardrobe was not the murderer, then it must have been Lo Pei.
What a load of bull. Why would Master Lo hide inside his own wardrobe? Is he playing hide and seek?
That is the only possibility left. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Okay, well that is just the game being deliberately deceiving then. I want to see specifically what it said. How far do I have to scroll up? Okay. Oh, we have all neglected the possibility of a third person hiding inside this room. Why would he say that if you already knew there wasn't a third person there? Okay, this is just reminding me of Ace Attorney and me just disagreeing with what the game is saying. Mr. Shen, what is the reason for Lo Pei to hide inside the wardrobe? In search of inspiration. No, he did not hide inside the wardrobe of his own will. He was hid inside by someone else. If the person hiding inside the wardrobe last night was Lo Pei,
And who did you meet?
Indeed, didn't you say that you only saw Lope in the room when you hung the door latch?
Oh. Okay, you know, fair enough.
I believe that the person I saw in this room last night was not Lope, but the actual murderer. When I arrived at Lope's house last night, the candle inside was still lit, but I had knocked on the door for quite some time before someone responded. Before opening the door, they even specifically tried to confirm if we had ever met before.
If the person you met was not Lope, how couldn't you recognize the corpse this morning?
Last night he wore a hat and moustache, had his back towards me and the lights were dim. By then the real Lope had eaten the drugged rice cakes and was moved inside the wardrobe.
What you have just said does explain the presence of a third person within the room. Officer Ma, what do you reckon?
These are all just speculations. You got any evidence that proves the person who was hiding inside the wardrobe was Master Lo?
Wait. Let me see the details. Hints of camphor wood. That's it.
This is the autopsy report from initial investigations. It'll explain a lot of questions.
Lope's hair smells of camphor wood, confirming he hid inside the wardrobe.
How is that so?
Camphor wardrobes repel insects and leave a lasting fragrance on clothes stored within.
Even if Lope's clothes catch this scent, his hair should not, unless...
Lope was inside the wardrobe and his head was against the partition board the entire time.
Don't you forget Master Lo usually wears a hat? That could have just been the scent from his hat.
This hat has no scent. Coats and hats worn frequently don't go in the wardrobe.
Mr. Shen's deduction is indeed reasonable. What else have you found on the deceased?
Look here, white glutinous rice powder on the collar of the deceased rice cake crumbs. This shows that, like I had, the deceased ate rice cakes that were laced with knockout drugs. He was stabbed 3 times, yet the absence of defense wounds also proves this point. He wore a loose fake moustache, likely removed and reattached. All of the details above are able to confirm my deduction. The Lope I met last night was actually impersonated by the murderer.
What kind of person would dress up as Master Lo?
Mr. Shen's deduction does hold some truth. However, up until Officer Ma broke down the door, the room was locked from the inside.
Yeah, how could the murderer walk out of that room when it was locked from the inside, huh? The front doors are the only exit and the door latch can only be hung from inside the room.
Please have a look. This is the key evidence to solving the mystery of the door latch.
This is a wood chip?
That is correct. The key lies within this wood chip.
I don't get it. Ain't it normal for some stubble to fall from the partition board when it moving it around?
No, it is abnormal. The wood chip did not fall on the partition board, it appeared on a pile of clean clothes. More importantly, the inner wardrobe is made of camphor wood, yet this wood chip is pine wood. Afu carefully checked and confirmed. Wood chip matches broken latch. This wood chip is a piece of stubble that fell off when the door latch was broken. As Officer Ma kicked in, the wardrobe had been clearly locked until unlocked by Afu just now. This is extremely abnormal.
That's strange. Why would the wood chip appear inside the wardrobe?
The reason is insignificant. Whatever caused the wood chip to appear inside the wardrobe is insignificant. What we need to focus on is when the wood chip entered the wardrobe, and what it uncovers.
Mr. Shen, don't beat around the bush. Tell me now, what truth does it uncover?
Simply put, the wood chip flew off the broken door latch before the wardrobe was locked. Which means that when the door latch broke, the door of the wardrobe was still open.
Shen, the most recent time we know of that the wardrobe doors were open should be before you woke up, right?
That is correct.
Then, doesn't that mean?
And that means that before Officer Ma kicked open the door latch was already broken. In other words, this is not a locked room at all.
You're the best, Shen. No wonder the door was so easy to kick open. I just thought it was shabby and old.
All contact leaves traces. The murderer's plan was flawed by a wood chip left in the wardrobe as incriminating evidence. This tiny wood chip not only exposed their cunning scheme, but also allowed me to follow his footprints and deduce his true identity. The person who murdered Lo Pei is... The murderer of this case is you, Lo Shiwen.
You lie! How could I possibly kill my own uncle? Judge Chung, please, he's trying to frame me.
Well, you believe that Lo Shiwen is the murderer. Where is the evidence?
The door latch was not broken when the door was kicked open, but broken beforehand. The so-called sealed-off state of the room was an illusion created by the murderer. He appeared to knock on the door, but he was just securing it from unwanted entry. Until Officer Ma kicked the door. That is when the murderer let go of the door. In this way, he could mislead everyone to believe that the door was locked from the inside. You have all been fooled by his performance.
Hot damn! You treacherous leech! Oh, wait, what? It wasn't me.
Lo Shiwen, I will tell you this. You are the only person who believes your tricks were clever. That is because your scheme has a fatal weakness.
Oh, what weakness?
To ensure the success of your plan, you had to control the door at all times. Through reverse deduction, I can be sure that... Lo Shiwen, you are the murderer.
You lie!
Oh, Shiwen, is there anything else you want to say at this point?
He's a liar, a deceiver, a fipster and a cheater, a phony and misleader. I have something to say too. Mr. Shen, you made up a story and said a bunch of absurd theories. Did you really see it happen? Why in the world should we believe your words? In my opinion, you're the one who is fooling everyone.
Then what evidence do you have for saying that?
There's a clear and simple reason. I have no motive to murder my uncle.
You got me. I barely had time to investigate. I've yet to infer the motive for the murder.
Lo Pei is my uncle, my family, by blood. Why would I want to kill him? What's more important is the problem between you and me. This is the first time we've ever met, am I right?
That is correct. We have never met each other before.
If we've never met, well, why would I go through the trouble of framing you by killing my own uncle? I couldn't possibly have known about your visit. How could I design a plot to frame you?
It was a coincidence that I had surprised you in your act.
A coincidence? Didn't you just say that all of this was a plot that I had designed?
Mr. Shen, is it true that the two of you have never met?
That is correct.
If that's the case, then Lo Shiwen indeed has no reason to frame you.
Shen, things aren't looking too good for us.
Mr. Shen, could you be mistaken?
No way. Shen's deductions have never been wrong.
A deduction? More like a one-sided statement.
Where's the proof? Do you have any? You think that wood chip is enough?
Well, Liu Xuan also has a certain truth to his words. Mr. Shen, do you have any further evidence to support your claim? Accusing him without proof is difficult and risks putting me in a tough spot if you're wrong.
There are shameless people who claim to be detectives. Never thought I'd meet one today. Mr. Shen, you ain't got no proof.
Not at the moment.
Then you leave me no choice but to seize you all and punish you all with torture.
Damn it. I managed to come so far with my deduction. Am I really going to let him escape?
Shen, try to think harder. Would it be that we missed some kind of clue? Didn't you always say that you were really confident in your memory palace? Evidence that can be used to accuse Liu Wen must still be in this room.
All contact leaves traces. The evidence is not non-existent, but instead undiscovered. All objects and all images settle in different locations sequentially. It seems like something is missing from the table. What could be missing from the table? A manuscript. The thing that was missing from the table was Lopei's manuscript. Ink on the inkstone is yet dried, and one of the calligraphy brushes has not dried out either. It indicates someone was writing at the desk last night. It could have been Lopei or Liu Wen who was impersonating Lopei. The manuscript should have been left at the scene unless someone took it away. When was the manuscript taken away? I should have an impression of this matter. When investigating the desk, I felt strange. I need to grasp onto this feeling. That will be the case breaker, hidden inside my memory. I remember now. I saw a manuscript on the desk when I first awoke. That's why I felt odd during investigations. This means that the manuscript was taken after I woke. Someone concealed this clue during investigations. Who was it? Why would they do this? The most likely person would be the murderer. However, there are still other possibilities. Other possibilities? What's the probability of the emergence of other possibilities? Very low. Aside from the murderer, no one else on scene had the motive to conceal clues. So how do we treat these low probability events? We temporarily exclude them from our hypotheses. I am really busy right now. Could you go away? I'm helping you sort out your case, great detective. Assuming the murderer hid the manuscript, this manuscript must be very important to him. What could be written in the manuscript? Their motive? Key evidence? Last words? Or was the manuscript itself valuable? There are too many possibilities. This is the question you're supposed to be asking. Why would something he risked taken away in broad daylight be left behind that night? It was altered. Could it be that the manuscript was altered after the murderer left the scene? Lopei didn't die right away. After he regained consciousness, he left a dying message? Can't be. No traces of movement. If this were the case, there would be at least bloodstains. Don't complicate the problem. The truth is often simple and instinctive. Simple. They forgot it. This is really cool. Although it sounds unbelievable, the murderer forgot something when they left the scene. Upon returning, he recognized the manuscript's importance and took the risk of keeping it. This had to be a premeditated murder planned in advance to be able to achieve such coherency. The murderer is a very meticulous person. They also reorganized the crime scene. What kind of thing could they have forgotten? Are you sure that everything went according to the murderer's plan? That's right. There was one thing that the murderer could not have planned. What was not part of the murderer's plan? My arrival. Even though Shiwen himself said that he could not possibly have known of my arrival. However, he actually designed a locked room and framed me for this crime. The most unreasonable part of all this is that I became a part of his murder plan. What if you hadn't appeared then? That's an interesting question. They would have another plan. Evidently, the murderer had another murder plan, which was his original plan. The murderer's plan was foiled by my surprise visit and insistence on meeting Lo Pei. Realizing I had never met Lo Pei, the killer improvised and posed as him to frame me. So, what was the murderer's original plan? Frame another person. He wanted to frame young No, it wasn't. Never mind. Could it be that Lo Shiwen had another scapegoat prepared? Probably not, since if there was another scapegoat, Lo Shiwen would not have allowed me indoors. Or perhaps coincidentally, that person did not show up for some reason? The possibility of such a happening is too low to be taken account of. Falsify Lo Pei's suicide. If I had not appeared, there would have been only Lo Pei's corpse. Evidently, the murderer's original plan was to make Lo Pei kill himself in the locked room. If the original plan was to falsify a suicide, what could be hidden within the manuscript? It is clear to me now. There must have been, well, apparently not. Oh, never mind, apparently yes. There must have been a suicide note. I thought it would show up in a cool way again. Mr. Shen, if you keep dawdling around, I'm gonna have to resort to violence. Hold on. Judge Chang, Officer Ma, I am now aware of all of the murderous schemes. I, Shen Chongping, promise to uncover the truth. Judge Chang, there is no need to listen to his fabrications any longer. Seeing how much this bothers you, I actually would like to give Mr. Shen another chance. Mr. Shen, although I believe you are at the end of your rope, you may begin. Lo Shiwen and I are complete strangers, yet I became a crucial part of his scheme because Lo Shiwen improvised his plan. His original plan was to falsify Lo Pei's suicide. To falsify a suicide? Mr. Shen, do you have any evidence? I believe the murderer accidentally left a forged suicide note here when he fled the scene. Oh, there was such a thing? Mr. Shen, how could you be so full of yourself at a time like this? If you found a suicide note, take it out for everyone to see then. If he really did forge some kind of suicide note, I'ma cuff Lo Shiwen in an instant. Officer Ma, may I ask you a question? Go on then. When I first awoke, I remember seeing a piece of paper on the desk. Did you see it? Now that you mention it, I think there was. But then again, I don't remember that clearly either. Officer Ma, you have repeatedly stressed that no one is allowed to tamper with the crime scene. However, during investigations, the murderer secretly hid the note under your nose. Let us search the room again and find the suicide note. Mr. Shen, I advise you to stop stalling for time. Your ability to make up stories is even better than us novelists. Mr. Shen, I have already heard a handful of deductions today. Although your deductions sound quite reasonable, after all, they are just one-sided statements. I need to see solid evidence to settle this case. Judge Chang is so perspicacious.
Since you claim that there is a suicide note, you have the obligation to find it. I will give you one last chance to point out where exactly that suicide note you speak of is.
Judge Chung, there's not a big difference between one chance or two chances. Perhaps...
Give me one last chance. This is what Mr. Shen said himself just now.
I am grateful, Judge Chang. One chance is more than enough.
There's no such evidence like that at all. So, Mr. Shen, please point it out.
Chen, we only have one chance left. What are we going to do?
At times like this, there is no choice but to take a gamble.
Okay, I can't save. Well, okay, let us think about this. Is it in the wardrobe? No, there is no chance. Under the books, anywhere here, that seems unlikely to me. Within here, probably not. The most likely scenario that I think is that he has it in his thing that he's holding. That to me is the most likely. The easiest as well. It's very, very risky. But honestly, if you're a murderer and you find some evidence of your crime at the scene and you have to hide it, the best or the most secure way of doing so is hiding it on yourself. Because everywhere else someone could look. It's not safe to put it anywhere else. I'm just looking around, but I don't think there is anything else. The only other thing that I think like could be funny was if it was on the corpse. Or like on one of those two, but I don't think so. I feel like this is where it is. The suicide note is hidden right here. Where? Evidently, it is hidden on your person. You lie! Officer Ma and I both searched inside and outside this house, but no note was found. The only possibility is that the forged suicide note is on your person. Judge Chang, does Shen Chongping want to search my body without any clear evidence? I'm a scholar of Gumao year. I don't kneel before officials.
Well, if it is necessary to make myself more clear, this is the exact location.
What? That? How could that possibly be hidden on me?
The manuscript missing should be the book that you have been holding this entire time.
The forged suicide note must be hidden within it. No, that's not.
Officer Ma, take that book for examination.
Lu Shiwen, stay where you are and don't you dare move. Hand over that book.
You, what? Don't come near me.
You Puck, stop eating the books.
Stop that.
Ha! Lord, look, there actually was a piece of paper folded in here.
I inked a pact with death, awaited his arrival patiently. Tonight he finally knocked on my door. I trouble my last of kin, though she went to handle my affairs. Please keep matters simple. An accurate foretelling, Mr. Shen. This is indeed a suicide note.
Lu Shiwen, you ungrateful little bastard. Master Lu treated you with love and care. How could you do something like this to him? I'm gonna sharpen my sword with that head of yours if that's the last thing I do.
That's nonsense. He's the one who let me down.
So, Lu Shiwen, are you admitting that you killed Lo Pei?
This is slander, lies. No. It wasn't me.
Lu Shiwen, no matter the circumstances, murder was not an option, nor was framing the innocent.
Mr. Shen, could you recall the sequence of events in this entire case for me?
Sure. The initial plan was to drug Lo Pei and use the ribbon in the wardrobe to kill him. By using the door latch, he could create an illusion of Lo Pei hanging himself in a locked room. However, During his act of murder, I arrived unexpectedly, insisting on meeting with Lo Pei.
Therefore, his only option was to improvise his plan and frame Shen for the murder.
Lo Shiwen drugged me, killed Lo Pei, and framed me by placing the knife in my hand. He thereupon broke the door latch according to the original plan to create a locked room. Not knowing that justice has long arms. How could murder in reality be the same as the imagination of committing crimes in novels? The deceased bled profusely, and it also took longer than he expected to set up the scene. As he was in a hurry, there were many loopholes.
Loopholes? What loopholes?
When he broke the door latch, he did not notice the wood chip that flew into his sleeves. He has no time to reorganize the wardrobe and simply stuffed the ribbon into the clothes pile.
Without notice, the wood chip slipped out from his sleeves and was left in the locked wardrobe.
The most fatal one was that he actually forgot to take the suicide note with him. So he took away the manuscript from the table and hid the note in it. Am I mistaken, Lo Shiwen? You are the culprit who murdered Lo Pei. No. None of you truly understand. That's mine. It belongs to me. All of this is mine. How could this... how could I... No way. No way.
Look at this punk. He just fainted.
Mr. Shen, your performance has impressed me deeply. Not only were you able to clear your name, you also uncovered the culprit.
Extraordinary.
However, I still have a glimmer of doubt. Pray tell, Your Honor. The handwriting in the suicide note and Lo Pei's manuscript is strikingly similar. Lo Shiwen has not confessed and his motive is not clear. This case faces many variables. In order for this to become an ironclad case, more evidence needs to be found. Am I correct? Yes, that's right. What do you reckon, Mr. Shen? Lo Shiwen wore Lo Pei's coat when he was impersonating him. That coat is missing. He probably took the coat when he first left the scene. He must have a compelling reason. Oh, what reason is that? I suspect it was stained with the victim's blood. The drugged rice cakes as well. Lo Shiwen must have taken them away. He didn't have much time to deal with these items, so they could still be hidden somewhere. Well, Officer Ma, what do you reckon?
If we find out that Lo Shiwen is hiding a bloodstained coat, then the case is closed. I'll send people out to search for it right away.
Well, what's left of this matter is all procedural. You have suffered injustice today, Mr. Shen. Let's leave this place together.
Solved. Let's go.
Unexpected misfortune. Case solved.
Shen, you don't seem particularly happy even though the case is closed. Is it because you still haven't figured out the motive? Don't worry about it. We'll just go and ask Lo Shiwen after he wakes up.
Afu, do you still remember the reason why I came to visit Lo Pei?
For the investigation of the unsolved case of Shen's brother in London 3 years ago. You said that Lo Pei's novel was related to the unsolved case on your brother.
Due to the particularity of the location of the crime, Scotland Yard ordered secrecy. Including me, perhaps more than 5 people have been exposed to the details of this case. Recently, I stumbled upon a new detective fiction published in the Shanghai News.
Is it the Confined Room mystery written by Lo Pei?
That is correct. A novelist living in rural Hunan could not possibly have connections to the London case. What was eerie about this matter was...
Shen, could it be that...
The details of the crimes written in Lo Pei's novel are exactly the same as that case.
Now that Lo Pei's dead, we've lost another lead.
Our only hope is Lo Shiwen. Perhaps he will know of something, but he is still unconscious.
If that's the case, why don't we... go grab some breakfast, Shen? Let me tell you something, Shen. I walked past this food stall earlier. The fermented bean curd they were selling smelled really yummy.
Case number 1 closed. I believe Liu Shiwen was the one who originally wrote all of the novels, and that is the motive for murder. A few hours later, we'll explore that. Possibly the next case in the next episode. Till then, hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks for doing so, and I will see you all next time. Till then, bye!